Hey, this is Matt, simplifying complex numbers with adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. We'll start with the first two because they are the easiest, which is adding and subtracting. So with adding, which the two groups of numbers we're using are 2 minus 5i and negative 3 minus i. So we'll add them together. So we have 2 minus 5i plus a negative 3 minus I. Pretty much here you just combine like terms. So negative 3 with a 2, make a negative 1. Make sure I get my steps. Negative 1, and then a negative 5, the negative 1, makes negative 6i. And this is standard form with complex numbers, especially with only with imaginary numbers, because you have to have them separate. And that's adding. Now subtracting. Which is, we're using the same number, so it's 2 minus 5i minus a negative 3 minus I. Negative 3 with a subtraction sign, if they're right next to each other, you make them addition. So put these combined like terms again. Become 5, and then these two together, negative 6i. That's the answer to that one. Now the two harder ones, multiplication and division. Multiplication, 2 minus 5i multiplied by negative 3 minus I. Right here you FOIL. So you multiply the first together, which is negative 6. Outside, negative 2i. Inside, positive 15i. And the last ones, minus 5i squared. Positive. Then we combine like terms, which is going to be negative 6 plus 13i plus 5i squared. But a rule with imaginary numbers, if this is with all imaginary numbers, I squared is always equal to negative 1. So we see that there's an I squared here, so we make it negative 1. So negative 6 plus 13i plus 5 times negative 1. So then we go negative 6 plus 13 minus 5. That's an I right there. Combine like terms again. This then becomes negative 11 plus 13i, once again in the standard form. Now for division, I'll write out that I squared equals negative 1 again, because we will be using that. So for division, it will be 2 minus 5i over negative 3 minus I. I put it like this so I could rationalize the denominator, which I feel is the easiest way. So we will make it negative 3 plus I over negative 3 plus I. So now here we FOIL the numerator and the denominator. So it will first become negative 6, outside, positive 2i, the insides, positive 15i, and the last, which will become negative 5i squared. Which, as you can see, the I squared has popped up again. Over. So now we FOIL here. Negative 3 times negative 3, which are the first, comes 9. outside minus 3i, inside plus 3i, and the last minus I squared. Now what we do is combine like terms. So we will have negative 6 plus 17i minus 5i squared over 9. These two, if combined together, will equal 0, and then minus I squared. Now we will plug in negative 1 for where we see I squared. Negative 6 plus 17i minus 5 times a negative 1 over 9 minus a negative 1. So now we will just make everything look pretty. Negative 6 plus 17i plus 5 over 9 plus 1. So now, combine like terms, again, becomes negative 1 plus 17i over 10. But another rule with imaginary numbers, if there's a denominator, you have to separate it under each one. So it will become negative 1 over 10 plus 17i over 10.